You know, you gotta feel a little bit of sympathy for the attorneys representing the MAGA rioters from the January 6th Capitol riot. You know, not all of them, of course. Some of them are really just scumbag, pro-Trump, the insurrection was nothing wrong lawyers. The rest of them, though, just your average run-of-the-mill, small-time criminal defense lawyers, a lot of them actually just public defenders. And they're having to go to court and defend the indefensible, even in the face of overwhelming video evidence. And that's the case we saw this week, where you have a lawyer for one of these Capitol rioters who goes into court and he says, "Judge, look, my client never had any intention whatsoever of getting violent that day." And not only did the lawyer have to say this, in spite of the fact that there's video evidence of his client attacking a police officer, but his client, a former special services officer, was also wearing tactical gear, riot gear, to the insurrection. So this poor lawyer has to go to court and say, no, this dude totally didn't want to get violent, but he was dressed like he was literally going to war. And what I find humorous about this, and again, I do feel a lot of sympathy for that lawyer because he's doing the best he can with what he has to work with. And I have a lot of sympathy for these folks. You know, these small-time criminal defense lawyers, they don't get a lot of love out there. They don't make a whole ton of money. They're doing the best they can to keep people out of jail, or at least to do their constitutional duty and give everybody a right to representation. And you have to applaud them for that, right? But at the same time, they're running out of ideas. They're running out of options. The whole thing was videoed. Not just, by the way, by the major networks or the news outlets, but by the people who were there. They took cell phone videos. They posted it on social media. So they're watching these things in court, and these lawyers, these defense lawyers, are having to look at it and say, oh, crap. Oh, what am I going to say about this now? He didn't want to be violent. I don't know. I really don't know. They're doing the best they can, but these defenses are getting more and more stupid by the week. But again, you can only work with what you're given at this point. And these poor defense lawyers have not been given very much, considering the overwhelming video evidence. And of course, in this instance, the fact that your client showed up in full riot gear really undercuts your argument that they never wanted to get violent. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.